What?
Nothing.
Fucking look
Didn't
at
say
it.
anything.
Howdy,
Hi,
Noah. I was like, I'm gonna let you have this because it's your thing.
No. Fuck you. Go.
Howdy, hi, and hello, everyone. We're saying this together. Welcome to another episode of CNC Talks. As always, we are your hosts. I am Noah. and this is Noah. Okay. I'm gonna let you take it from here, Chief.
Well, this is your idea for this week, but first a little bit of a small talk. Just upstairs, I did order those fucking tickets for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie.
So excited.
Yeah.
The end of the month cannot get here fast enough.
I am on, dead center. I'm scared that it's going to flop, but it looks so good in all of the trailers and all of the ads on TV. They have the Black Dragon, they have the Displacement Beast, they have the Gelatinous Cube.
Which is a meme.
Which is a fucking meme. Same thing with the Mimic.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if there's any other. There's most likely hundreds of others. But I am scared that this is going to flop.
I think it'll be fine, honestly.
I think ever since that whole OGL thing, everyone wants them to succeed or wants them to fail.
Okay, so when you say it that way, I understand. So you're talking, you don't know if it'll be as well received because of the OGL and all that stuff.
Well, I know a lot of people aren't going to watch it anymore because it's Dungeons and Dragons now, and it's like that whole OGL thing. But a lot of people are going to watch it because they still like the game. They might not like the company. Or they'll be like, we'll see. I don't like the fucking thing. But I will still say if it's a good movie or not.
I agree with you. I think that it is going to be a kind of tough recoup from their past mistakes. But my thing is, so I think we should include a video for any of our listeners. If we can find it, we will attach a link to it on some of our social media and stuff for when we post this, just as an additional reference. You did show me that video of that guy that was talking to that head honcho at Wizards, and they literally the guy from Wizards said this was the dumbest thing they could have done. This was a stupid mistake, and they're trying they're fixing it. They realize how much of a backlash it was. So I think if people step back and realize that Wizards is a game company, but they're still a company. So sometimes, I'm going to say this all as one thing. Sometimes there's decisions that are made to better the company, but if they're not well thought out enough, mistakes happen. So, I don't personally really hold a grudge against Wizards. If so, I'd be pissed because they haven't released anything good in Magic the Gathering for years. Really, there's a lot of other stuff, but every company has their flaws. I think it's just from here on out how they handle it. Now, if this ever would come up again, done. That would be it. There's already so many people leaving Wizards, how do I want to say that?
That whole company.
Yeah, not leaving the company as in they were employees, but leaving, just abandoning anything that dealt with Wizards and just going, all right, fuck this. I'll play something else. I'll do something else. Does not matter. I'm not dealing with this. It is just pure greed, whatever. So the thing is, if they do that again, people obviously you and I, because we're still dealing with DnD and stuff like that, I don't think that's going to happen again. Yeah. At all. I mean, there's some people that are so far into it where it's this is their life. So I understand where it's hard. My thing is that's the same thing as if you were to go into Wizards and be like, hey, we're changing a million things, it's going to tighten up all of you guys, like, you're going to, like, people there would be like, you're fucking with my family. Well, guess what? So is the OGL. So, like, don't fuck with it. And I think they realized that after the outcry and the, you know, basically boycotting and all of that stuff. So I think that as long as some people just chill and calm down and just be like, obviously don't put your faith 100% in them. You don't have to do that. I'm not asking that. Nobody's asking that. But, like, just relax, enjoy the movie, and base it off of the movie rather than the company. I just think that, I think from looking at it, it is going to be a hit, honestly.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it may not be huge either because, you know, my parents aren't going to go watch it. They don't care. But D&D has such a huge following from years and years of people playing it and stuff. It's got to pique some interest. You know what I mean? So, and it's hard to go off box office and stuff anymore because, like, I'll go to the movies every once in a while, but most of the time the movies suck in general. Like, that's why streaming is such a huge thing. So, I don't know. I feel like nothing's going to do great, really, in theaters anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see what it's going to be over time. Like, how much it's going to gross over time for profit. I think the actors are great choices. Fucking, I can't remember what is it Chris Pine?
Yep.
Fucking wild. I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I love Chris Pine. So, I'm pumped. I'm here for it.
We'll do a review on this podcast after.
Hell yeah. I'm 100% down for that.
All right.
Bring back the old podcast. Just for one episode.
God damn it, Dukes. You had to have a stroke. This episode, we're going to do a overview so far on the One DnD playable content so far. Right now there's 4 different PDFs. There's character origins, expert classes, the cleric and revised species. Races are going to be called species now.
Okay.
Which isn't just a name thing. And then druid and paladin for the last one.
Are you talking about what changes are
Yeah,
happening?
those are what the changes are so far. Nothing is set in stone. Like, you will see, like, in the first pamphlet, a couple of big differences, but maybe by the cleric, it'll be changed even more. So, character origins. This pamphlet is going to go over the races, backgrounds, starting languages, feats, and a couple of the changes of the rules. So first with the races is human, just normal old human. So everything is pretty much the same except they have 3 new special traits. One of them is called resourceful, which is you gain inspiration whenever you finish a long rest. So their take on inspiration is instead of like mainly DM handing it out for doing good things or whatnot, it's going to be a mechanic-based thing. Same, like, you gain advantage or whatnot, but it's kind of going to be a mechanic instead of, like, a bonus for doing good deeds.
Okay.
Next is skillful. You gain proficiency in one of the skills of your choice. Any skill that you want, it's not that big of a deal. And then the last one is versatile. You can gain the skilled feat, which is you gain 3 skills proficiency in, or another first level feat of your choice. So in this One DnD as well, feats are going to be possibly level upable.
Yeah. That would be kind of weird. I'm curious to see how that would work.
I know. They only dive into it a little bit in this, but I'll get to it in a bit. Next is Ardling. How do I want to say this? A celestial animal. There are 3 different types of these. One of them is Exalted, where their celestial ancestry are champions, where they align with like the chaotic good planes. Heavenly are the ancestors from defenders.
Exalted,
whatever the
Exalted. Fuck. Well, I was looking at it and I was like, what are you talking about? I realized it's Exalted. Gotcha.
Heavenly is the lawful good plane, and then Idyllic.
Yeah.
I'm fucking up hard. Are the kind ancestors of the neutral good. So it's pretty much putting you kind of in an alignment push, but you also don't have to follow that. Their special traits are Angelic Flight, which I'm not really liking this. As a bonus action, you sprout wings for a moment and fly up to a number of feet equal to your speed. If you are up in the air at the end of this movement, you fall if nothing is holding you aloft.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of that, but you are able to use it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay. So why don't you like that?
Because after you move in these wings, let's just say Tim used this to fly up in the air, he would immediately fall at the end of his turn. He wouldn't be away from people. He would just be back on the ground. He was just moving his speed.
I'm reading this real quick. So, my only thing with that is, I think that, I don't know. There's probably certain circumstances where, because my thing is, if he didn't just fall, I feel like that would be broken.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like this is a good way to, like, get over hurdles or, like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that is probably the main thing for it.
I think I wouldn't like it if it was, like, if it was more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I wanted to be like, hey, I just want to, like, fly up over this ledge and land on top. Like, there's a lot of classes and stuff. You don't have the flight spell. You don't have, you know. So I feel like sometimes that'll help you get access to stuff that, like, I don't know. If you're playing a game just to have fun and you guys make similar characters and it's not like a thought out thing, kind of how Vreeland was. I mean, we didn't really plan our characters together or anything. So we had to find synergy in our stuff. But if you do that, then you could be like, oh, man, we just need to, like, boost ourselves up a little bit. Well, you can fly for a short amount of time, like, just to move. I think the way that you're thinking of it, from the way you just said that, I feel like you're thinking of it in a battle standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from, like, an RP standpoint. And, you know, like, well, hey, you're going to roll for deception to say that you're angelic or something. I'd be like, okay, well, what if I use this, like, spectral wing thing? You'd be like, roll advantage. Yeah. Like, that's pretty fucking... Like, if I can just be like, my son, and lift off the ground from spectral wings, they're just like, this dude is a deity. Like, just, you know, some stupid stuff like that. Like, I think it just opens up more role-playing. Because I really don't think it's that useful for fighting. I mean, there's probably specific circumstances, but, you know, if something's hanging somewhere, you know, you want to put out a light or whatever. You know, if you're in a more modern style thing and there's, like, a light bulb that you want to, like, fit, whatever, something dumb, like, that you would just not really think of. I feel like there's so many uses for it that would be wild. Getting a cat out of a tree. Like, fucking dumb stuff that would just, you know.
Next is Celestial Legacy. It's pretty much gaining spells depending on which legacy you're doing. Even Exalted, Heavenly, or
Idyllic. Yeah.
Each of them has suggested animals that you could be for each one. So Exalted can be cat, eagle, goat, or mule if you wanted to. It's just, you don't have to do it.
Heavenly is it.
Heavenly is elephant, owl, pig, or stork.
You just said the most important one.
Stork?
No. Owl.
Oh.
That's what mine would be every time. I love owls.
Well, at that point, just be an owlin.
You could be a dog.
Yeah.
Or you could have a dog.
You can be a dog.
Wait, is it B1?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I thought you said Ardlings were like...
Ardlings are animal celestial humanoids.
Oh.
You are that animal.
I was thinking of a familiar for some reason. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind, I'm being dumb. Just fucking...
You a dog.
Fucking ignore me.
Each of them...
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing? Each of them has their own set of spells that they add to whatever animal they are choosing. And then lastly, they gain resistance to radiant damage.
It's pretty road.
Pretty road.
Pretty road. I was going to say it's pretty dope, but... yeah.
Next to Dragonborn. Same thing, Draconic Ancestry, pick a dragon. You gain that type of breath weapon and resistance. Breath weapon, they all have the 15-foot cone instead of some have cone, some have line.
Yeah. I think that makes a little more sense.
And also they changed it a little bit where on a failed save, they take 10 plus your character level instead of 2d6 or 3d6. So technically, if you're a level 20 Dragonborn, you would do 20 plus a d10.
So you'd have 30 max, basically.
Yes.
See, I like that a little bit more. I feel like breath attacks, like, that's the problem with Ranto a lot, too. Like, breath attacks are just fucking weak.
Well, and another good thing about it is you can do it an equal amount of times to your proficiency bonus.
Wait, you don't just get one per
You
fucking
don't get
long
one
rest?
anymore.
Oh, baby. Can we switch Vreeland to One DnD, like, tomorrow?
So everyone that's a Dragonborn will start out at 2, but they will get a max of 6.
That's pretty dope. I mean, that makes, like, a lot more sense, too, because you do a breath weapon and you're like, hey, man, I'm all petered out. It's like, you're supposed to be a Dragonborn. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's literally like you ate some Chipotle and you had some bad fucking gas and you were like, okay, well, I'm good till tomorrow at dinner time. Like, what the fuck? It just, to me, whenever I picture that, I picture, like, when you're in the fury of battle and, like, you know, like, Ranto would swing and, like, blast lightning and then, like, swing a few more times, then blast lightning again. I think our proficiency bonus is 3 right now, right? At our level?
In one more level, it'll go up 1.
Okay, so, like, you know, swing and, like, blast lightning and stuff. Like, I picture it that way. But, like, it's hard whenever it's like, hey, Mighty Dragonborn has one shitty breath attack that does barely any damage, and then it just, that's all. Mm-hmm. So, like, right now, so, like, let's say Ranto is level, like, 10. It'd be 10 plus a d10.
Yep.
14 damage. So
That's not bad.
yeah, that's it. Well, that's the thing I think of is I'm like sitting there and I'm like, man, I usually roll like a 2 and a 3, and it's like I do my breath attack for like 6 damage, 7 damage, like something stupid, and I'm like, this thing that I hyped up and I was ready for, and then I was just like, man, this breath attack sucks. Like, that's cool that they're like adjusting that,
And then they
without breaking it, obviously.
And then they have resistance to that type, dark vision, and then draconic language.
They didn't have dark vision before,
No,
correct?
they didn't.
Okay.
I think they're pretty much adding dark vision to everything except more humanoid-like people.
Yeah.
We're going to dwarf next. Same old, but special traits are dark vision,
Uh-huh.
dwarven resilience. They have resistance to poison damage and have advantage to avoid the poison condition. Dwarven toughness. Your hit point maximum increases by 1, and increases by 1 again whether you gain a
Whenever
level.
you gain a
Whenever, yep.
Wait, so your hit point maximum increases by 1. And it increases
So let's say you're a dwarven wizard.
Okay.
Normally it's just a d6 plus your con. So technically it's 7 plus your con. Because it's gaining 1 more.
So it's like d6 plus con plus 1.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just adding in that extra toughness for the dwarf.
I mean, that's kind of cool. That also makes sense. There's sometimes where it's like... Sometimes you just don't have a lot of stamina... Or a lot of, like your character isn't very tough. And it's like... You know, sometimes that extra boost would help out a lot.
Mm-hmm. For the time being, I believe they just took out all of the sub-races or subspecies. But they added in Forge Wise. Your divine creator gave you an uncanny infinity for working with stone. What?
No, affinity. Yeah.
Affinity.
Right?
I don't know.
What did you say? Did you say infinity?
Affinity.
Okay.
Or metal. You gain the tool proficiency with 2 of the following options: jewelers, masons, smiths, or tinkers tools.
Nice.
So it's just adding on to your portfolio of all the different shit that you can make. And lastly, stone cunning. As a bonus action, you gain tremor sense. So when you're underground, you can sense... Well, not even have to be underground. You're able to sense things moving without even seeing them, as long as they're in the ground, with a range of 60 feet for 10 minutes. You must be on stone surface or touching such a surface to use this. The stone can be natural or worked. You can use it a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus.
Okay, so this is just a side note, because from what I just saw, Tremor Sense is from Pathfinder, correct? Like it says on here, it says like, it comes up like Pathfinder, let me see, Pathfinder.
It's in D&D, but it's also in everything else.
Yeah, but I think
But
from
it
what
is
it says,
probably
it started, they said the only way to get Tremor Sense in 5e is to transform into a creature that already has it.
Yeah.
So, a creature with Tremor Sense is sensitive to vibrations in the ground and can automatically pinpoint the location of anything it's in contact with the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But with a dwarf, it says it has to be stone, correct?
Yep.
So it has to be stone. So this does not apply for stone cunning, but aquatic creatures with Tremor Sense can also sense locations through moving water, like through things moving in water. So that's pretty cool too. I never knew that. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Tremor sense or the water part?
Either. Well, I didn't know Tremor Sense was a thing, so.
Yeah. Alright. Next is Elf. They gain Dark Vision. These actually have a subrace, Elven lineage. They gain spells depending on which type of elf you want to be. Fey ancestry, advantage to avoid or end charmed. Keen senses, you gain proficiency in the perception skill. In trance, you don't need to sleep.
Yeah, you just go into a trance like you did before. You just...
Okay, it just jumped down. Okay.
Yeah, it was
Same
super
thing.
weird. It just did it on my screen, too. Yeah, you don't need to sleep, and magic can't put you to sleep, and then you can finish a long rest in 4 hours. So half the time, you just have to meditate.
So just a normal elf.
Yeah, that's just normal.
The drow, high elf, and wood elf, they're all the same. Pretty much. They added in an extra spell or two or increased the speed for something, and they added in 2 more spells at 3rd and 5th level. Next is Gnome. These also have lineages. They have Dark Vision, Gnome's Cunning, advantage on Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws. And then the lineages is the Forest Gnome and the Rock Gnome.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm reading down through this. It looks pretty cool.
For the rock gnome, they kind of just meshed that in with like the tinker ability from normal 5e, which is fine. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I've never really seen anyone actually use those tinker tools.
I've never seen anybody play a gnome. I think except...
You're right.
Krista? Or was she a halfling?
No, she was a gnome.
Was she?
I think so.
Lightfoot halfling.
Oh.
She was a halfling.
Damn.
Yeah. Kina from the one shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next is halfling.
Yep.
They have brave. They have advantage to saving throws to avoid or end the frightened condition. Halfling nimbleness. You can move through spaces of any creature of a size larger than you, but you can't stop there. Lucky, which is normal. Whenever you roll a 1 on your d20, you get to re-roll it and must use a new roll. And then natural stealthy, you have proficiency in the stealth skill. That one was added. I'm pretty sure that one was added.
I was going to say, I think so. When you roll 1 on a d20 of a d20 test... That's the thing I couldn't figure out, was test versus, like...
It's kind of like advantage.
Yeah, but is it, like, for a skill check only?
I don't know.
Is that what it is? Me and Dylan were talking about this, and we had it kind of figured out. But continue. Go ahead.
It'll probably talk more about it farther down.
Yeah.
Next is Orc. They have Adrenaline Rush. You can take the dash action as a bonus action. When doing so, you gain temporary hit points equal to your proficiency bonus. And you can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So you just gain an extra 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. But it's still something. Dark Vision. Powerful build. They can carry a size larger. Relentless Endurance. If they would get killed, they go back to 1 hit point. And they will gain that back after they finish a long rest. Tiefling. There's 3 different types of Tiefling, supposedly. Abyssal, Cathodic, and then Infernal. They have Dark Vision, Fiendish Legacy, where they gain different spells depending on which legacy you go for. Abyssal is more chaotic evil. Chthonic is neutral evil, and then Infernal is lawful evil. Each, depending on which one you go for, they each gain a different resistance. So Abyssal is resistance to poison, Chthonic is resistance to necrotic, and Infernal is resistance to fire. And then you learn a type of spell that's connected to that. Now, character background. Instead of how races get their additional like +2 and +1 and whatnot, that's going into the background. So how it goes is your ability score. It'll tell you 2 in wisdom, 1 in intelligence, or however you want to go wherever. It'll tell you 2 skills that you gain and that you will be proficient in them. A tool proficiency that you will gain, and a language that is connected to that type.
To the background?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of them are the same. Acolyte, Artisan, Charlatan, Criminal, and I forgot they each gain a feat. A level 1 feat. They're going through some of the different backgrounds and kind of fleshing them out and not having to be, this is what your species is, and you can't go anywhere around it. So it's kind of nice that you can finally break off from that point and actually gain something from the background that you choose.
So it kind of gives you a little more customization of your character.
Yes.
D&D tests, by the way, like D20 tests, it just sounds like normal.
Yeah.
Like
it is.
They just group them all together.
Yeah.
So that was weird. We'll get into that here in a little bit, but I just wanted to make that note. I did find it, and it's normal shit, but it is a little confusing.
Feats, each feat has a level. You have to equal that level or exceed the feat's levels for you to take it. prerequisites. You have to have certain things. And then repeatable, if you're able to repeat it. All of these are level 1, like Tavern Brawler, Tough, Lucky, Alert. Just the normal feats that everyone has usually gotten.
I assume they're going to expand on that at some point.
I hope they do.
Well, I mean, they would have to. Why the fuck would they put level 1 if it's...
I know.
You know. So I assume it's going to be like, you know, rolling out more content as they go.
So for critical hits...
I looked and it's pretty much exactly the same.
Well, there was a spot in this one where only people... Weapons and unarmored strikes have special features for player characters. Critical hits. If a player character rolls a d20 for an attack roll with a weapon or an unarmed strike, the attack is also a critical hit, which means it does extra damage. That means spells don't gain that. So spellcasters can no longer crit with their spells, which is what everyone hated, and I did not like this either. And that means...
That they can. You don't like that they can crit. Is that what you're saying?
I don't like that...
That they could crit.
Spellcasters can no longer crit in this PDF. So in
you don't like that they can't?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant you don't like the fact that they're able to crit.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so you want them to be able to crit.
I want everyone to be able to crit. And this also means that DMs also will not be able to crit. It's only the players.
Okay.
Which rubbed everyone the wrong way.
You're basically just incentivizing them to not use magic.
Yeah.
Especially at lower levels. Like, they better fucking do something to amp up spells then, because I'll tell you what, if you... Like, let me cast 2 spells a turn then, because if I can't crit on a spell, then what's the point of playing
I'm not going to play a fucking sorcerer or a warlock or anything.
Well, nobody wants to play a sorcerer anyway, but, you know.
Wink.
Been through that already.
And then lastly, they instead of each class having a different spell list, they're clumping all the arcane spells together, divine spells, and then primal. Arcane is like warlock, wizard, sorcerer. Divine is like paladin, druid, cleric, and then primal is, well, I think this one.
Primal is druid and rangers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure. I saw that noted on here, and I was like, "What is that?"
Expert classes. Each class are put into separate groups. So experts are now bards, rangers, and rogues. They have the expertise feature. Mages are sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. They have the arcane magic spell list. Priests are cleric, druid, and paladin. They are able to be with like divine or primal magic, focusing on healing and utility. And then warriors are barbarians, fighters, and monks. Artificer is also expert. Thank you all for listening to CNC Talks. If you like that episode and want to hear more, follow and subscribe to keep up to date. We have an Instagram and Facebook at Creatures and Cantrips, and Twitter at Creature Cantrip. If you want your message to be read on the next episode, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment. It'll help us immensely. I hope you all have a wonderful day.